ஆகாஷ்வாணி மாநில செய்திப்பிரிவு வழங்கும் செய்திச் சுடர்.
இன்றைய செய்திச் சுடர் நிகழ்ச்சியில் சென்னையின் சிறப்புக்கு மேலும் வலு சேர்க்கும் வகையில் 100 ஆண்டுகளை கடந்து செயல்பட்டு வரும் தமிழ்நாடு டென்னிஸ் சங்கத்தின் செயல்பாடுகள் குறித்த நேர்காணல் இடம்பெறுகிறது. ஆங்கிலத்தில் உள்ள இந்நிகழ்ச்சியில் தமிழ்நாடு டென்னிஸ் சங்கத்தின் தலைமைச் செயல் இயக்குநர் திரு ஹிட்டன் ஜோஷியுடன் உரையாடுகிறார் எமது சிறப்பு செய்தியாளர் ஜாய் ஆண்டவன்.
Welcome listeners to another program. Today we are going to have a little conversation with the Chief Executive Officer of Tamil Nadu Tennis Association, Mr. Hiten Joshi. Tennis began in Chennai as early as 1883, which was just 6 years after the very first Wimbledon Championship in 1877. 4 tennis courts were laid in the Madras Cricket Club. 1887 also featured a tournament for the ladies and the players were given cash prizes. To mention more, Tamil Nadu Tennis Association was established in 1926 to promote the game of tennis in the state of Tamil Nadu. The association is an affiliate of the All India Tennis Association and the Tamil Nadu Olympic Association. To talk more about tennis in the state, we have with us the Chief Executive Officer of the Tamil Nadu Tennis Association, Mr. Hiten Joshi. Congratulations on the centenary and welcome to our program, sir.
Thank you very much. It's a long 100 years with a lot of illustrious history, which we'll probably discuss as we go along.
At the outset, how is it to celebrate the centenary year of tennis in the state?
I think it's a very, very special year. Obviously, it comes once in a century, and as far as I'm concerned, once probably in a lifetime. So it is a very, very special year. Vijay Amritraj is our president, who has been emphasizing this fact again and again. WTA 2025 Chennai Open is going to be conducted from 27th of October to the 2nd of November. 2nd of November is going to be the final, singles and doubles. And 25th and 26th of October will be the qualifying rounds.
So how many players are coming, sir?
We are expecting about 80 players from all over the world because we have a qualifying draw of 24, the main draw is 32, and the doubles draw of 16. So sometimes the doubles players are different from the singles players. So we have almost 80 players participating from various parts of the world. Of course, our Indian girls will be there. Bamdi Patti and Yamalapalli, both from Telangana girls, who are ranked around 300 now. We hope that they will be able to play. And our own Maya Rajeshwaran Revati from Coimbatore, again, she's from the districts also. So she's been doing well. She reached the semi-final at the WTA 125 in Mumbai. So we hope that she's training at the Rafael Nadal Academy in Spain, and we look forward to her participation as well. Of course, we'll get to know more about all this as we get closer to the tournament. And it has been a very illustrious history because over these 100 years, we've had a number of Davis Cup players in the Indian team, and especially from the 50s, we've had a player almost every year in the Indian team from Tamil Nadu. So that's a very special achievement as far as we are concerned. And of course, iconic Krishnans and Amrit Rajas hail from Chennai, and they have really spread the game around. In the 50s, Krishnan's name was known all over the place. He was a Wimbledon semi-finalist. And then later on, Ramesh took over the mantle as well. So there's a rich history, and added to that, somehow the tennis culture has been very huge in Chennai. The iconic tournaments that we have had over the years, we've hosted 6 Davis Cup ties and a number of national championships in the 50s. A number of foreigners have come to Chennai to play from the time of 1930s when Bill Tilden is supposed to have come here. And then, of course, everybody knows Chennai Open. The ATP 250 event was held here for 2 decades. A WTA Women's 250 event was held 3 years ago. So it's been really iconic, and at various stages we've had very special tournaments. The highest prize money tournaments of the time were held in Chennai. So these are all landmarks that Tamil Nadu Tennis Association has achieved, and definitely it's a very, very memorable year.
Yeah, actually the individual contribution and also as an association, you have really played a very important role in the game of tennis. Do you think that tennis does it have a equal importance like any other sport in
Of
India?
course, nothing can beat cricket, as we all know. So yes, tennis has a special importance in the idea of the people, in the people's imagination. It is definitely there. It is one of the 2 individual sports which are played outdoors most of the time, tennis and golf. While all other individual sports are played indoors, like table tennis, chess, badminton, and squash, and so on. So it is very special. It's a very royal game, as you see when you see Wimbledon, the way they do the way Wimbledon is conducted, and the royal family lands up there and things like that. What you see not only at Wimbledon but also at the major events, and especially when we had this Chennai Open, the crowds that we got really shows that tennis is very much in the mind of the people. On all these years, of course, as you said earlier, in 1883, this tennis has come to Chennai, obviously through the Englishmen of the time, and they were all playing in the clubs and the ladies as well, and mixed doubles was a big event those days. There's a long history out there and how the Tennis Association began. So from those days, there have been a lot of rivalries, and somehow the people of Tamil Nadu have taken up to tennis. Even our districts, Karur and Dindigal and Salem, Coimbatore, Tuticorin, we have a lot of tennis players from all over the place. And in fact, the current crop, Ritin Pranav, our current national champion, is from Karur and Dindigal.
So, considering the history, we have a very long history. But in those days, the size of the game and the size of the grounds must have been, like very big at those times. But nowadays, the population is so much, the modernization is so much. How do you try to solve that issue?
Well, it's not an easy issue to solve because you know how land is now at a premium considering the increase in population. And obviously, only the other day we were discussing, and only that the playing facilities haven't quite grown as much as the training facilities have. There have been a lot of coaching academies that have come up. But in earlier days, coaches were the markers in the clubs. Markers were basically people who were looking after the court, groundsmen in cricket, you might say, but they were called markers because they marked the lines. And in their spare time, they played their own tennis, learned their own tennis, and then taught it to the members or played with the members who wanted them to play with them, or some beginners, and they taught them tennis. So that is how actually the initial coaching began. And then, of course, Mr. T.K. Ramanathan, Krishnan's father, as Krishnan himself has said, they rented a house and bought a land for making the tennis court. So they were staying in a rented house, but they were playing in their own tennis court. And he started the coaching. Of course, Krishnan became the legend he did. And there was Lakshmi Mahadevan, who became the Asian champion. At one time in 64, they were both the national winners and both coming from the same stable, so to say. And he started this formal coaching, and then, of course, went on to the Rajkumari Amrit scheme, which was in the Egmore Stadium, which came up in 1946, now the hockey stadium. Actually, it came up as a tennis stadium, and there was hockey also there. And subsequently, T.A. Ramarao was the coach where the Amrit Rajas grew up, and a whole lot of us young players of that time grew up. Then it was Robin Manfred after that from 73 when Mr. Ramarao passed away. So, and that continued, and now we are still in that stage. But now, of course, the SDAT Stadium came up in 1995, SAF Games. And it is a very popular destination for not only tournament players, but for the local players, because it's quite full most of the time. It's very popular. But it hasn't, that is only one stadium. And of course, our city has expanded. We do see a couple of courts here and there coming up, and a couple of flat complexes have also started including tennis courts in their building. So this is thing, but obviously it's not commensurate to the population that is growing. It is a little bit of an issue, but so far we have managed it, and the players are still playing, and they're coming up.
Yeah, a lot of concentration is given to Chennai and Coimbatore. But what about the other districts that you have?
Of course, since last 2 decades, we have taken tennis to the districts. In fact, way back in the year 2000, we conducted the Gold Flake Aces Tour. And that was the men's tournaments, which we took to Coimbatore and to Trichy and to Madurai. In fact, Trichy has a very good heritage. So does Salem. Of course, Salem was part of Coimbatore. Madurai also has a lot of history of tennis, in fact. And now they run an international junior tournament in Madurai every year for the last 8 years. Tennis has been growing there. Like I just said, in Karur, there was a coaching scheme run by Coach Mohan, and the number of players who came up on the national scene, and the current Ritin Pranav hailed from that district as well. Earlier, we had Mr. V.R. Balasubramaniam, Ilango Ranganathan, Parthiban, K.G. Ramesh, K.G. Suresh, Manoj Kumar. These are the names from Coimbatore, of course, and those districts. Ajay Salaraj from Tuticorin, who shifted to Chennai. The thing is that sometimes the people in the districts think there are things in Chennai have more access, so they come off to the Chennai. So leaving the district bare again. So this does
More
happen.
than 15 clubs are there in.
Clubs are there. I mean, Chennai is a big city, so it's such a populated city. So even these 28 clubs don't cater to certain areas in the city. If you go as far as Tondiarpet, or you go towards ECR or things like that, these are all new areas that have developed in the last few decades. But the clubs haven't grown in the same way. The traditional clubs are still within the city. And of course, you have a new population, a new generation of people who look at, I mean, there are a lot of adults who want to play tennis now.
Yes.
That I find a very interesting thing, because as they go up the ladder, they also find tennis a good game to take up individual, socially as well as physically. And unlike golf, it is less expensive. So there is a lot of popularity, of course, is there. Of course, we need more facilities, no doubt about it.
So, coming to the training side, how was it? Like, is there a particular way of dealing with coaches, or do we have interest in other countries to come here and train us?
Most of our coaches, nowadays a lot of coaching is there. Like I said, while the playing facilities are not as much, the coaching and the training facilities have increased multifold. Almost everywhere, even in Tambaram, you can find a tennis court. So also it's happened in the districts as well. There are coaches in Coimbatore, like I said, Karur now, and other places. There's a lot of local coaches who have now grown compared to before. Mm-hmm. And definitely there is more training facilities available for the people. As far as association concerned, we had a major coaching scheme many years ago where we supported the players to travel. See, it's not only training and coaching, it's participating in tournaments and participating in the right kind of tournaments. Because it's just not that you keep on playing in under 12 or something like that. You have to go up the ladder till you come to the main part of the competition, which is men and women, basically. So if you get there early as possible to that level, so you can stay in that level, and therefore with the experience you can improve in that level. So we had a program a decade ago called Tamil Nadu Academy for Tennis Excellence, but now we have a program called The Next Level, and my colleague Rajiv Vijay Kumar, who is head of development, heads it. We have selected 6 boys and 5 girls, and all of them, that includes Ritin as well. And we support them not only in terms of training and physical fitness, but we also support them to traveling to tournaments, trying to make their schedule as per what is required for them, so that they go up the ladder in a steady and a systematic manner. So that is what we are doing. As far as getting foreign coaches is concerned, we have done it in the past. We will do it as and when required. It's not always that we need that, but yes, the players do need exposure to foreign competition to understand it and therefore work on it and develop into it.
நேயர்கள் இதுவரை கேட்டது 100 ஆண்டுகளை கடந்து செயல்பட்டு வரும் தமிழ்நாடு டென்னிஸ் சங்கத்தின் செயல்பாடுகள் குறித்த நேர்காணல். இந்த நேர்காணலின் 2வது பகுதியை வரும் திங்கட்கிழமை இதே நிகழ்ச்சியில் கேட்கலாம்.